hi everyone, and welcome to Tilt. I'm not prepared for this, maybe you are, we'll find out. Let's go around and say hello to everyone after we open up with all the normal opening announcements, all the places you can find us, support us, sponsor information, websites you can get lots of discounts, check it all out, it's wonderful stuff. Let's go around and say hello to everyone, starting with our wonderful DM. Oh, hi Kelly.
Hi everybody. I'm Kelly, a Kelly Lane on Twitter, a Kelly in chat. I'm DM for this game. I'm very, very excited to see what happens this episode. I've got no idea what's going to happen. It's a very exciting place to be. You can find me here today. You can find me here on Wednesdays. You can find me on Wandering DM on Saturdays, and you can find me on Scrat's Patreon writing articles. Also, fun news. Yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the first game I played in on the channel. So, a year ago.
Oh my
yesterday.
days. Oh, you were full-time and everything, wow. Thank you so much, Kelly. Shall we go anti-clockwise around the room and go next to Virus's dragons, who's in the wrong frame, damn it.
I'm always so used to you going to Ray next. Dang it! Hi, I'm Vera Says Dragons. Apparently I'm in the wrong frame. Oops. You can find me at Vera Says Dragons just about everywhere on the internet. I am here Monday nights. I will always be around because Scrat's amazing. So, hey, I play Ransom. That's all I got. I love y'all.
Teehee, thank you. And thank you to Michael Wayne, who gives an advantage to Sandor. Sandor, you have an advantage. And also that brings us neatly to Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess, Little Cup of Joe, basically everywhere on the internet. Also, hey, now you can find me on Itch.io because I made a game. That's all I'm going to say about that. Tonight, though, I'm playing Sandor, the absolute dumpster fire and the only human in this group.
Let's not make that all you say about it. Please post links. I didn't spell your name right.
I'll get a link. Hold on.
Yeah, put the link in chat. It'd be amazing. And whilst you're doing that, we'll skip over me. I play Lon's Delight, who is actual mess. But kind of looking forward to not being a mess. But also, it seems like their sister, or one of them at least, mind blown, is trying to prevent that. Next, let's go to Ray at Witherbrick.
Hey, I'm Ray. I'm with a brick. You can catch me here Monday nights right now and earlier in the day. I don't think I ever self-plug that, but I do play an earlier game in the day, which is like a Call of Cthulhu game. It's really fun. But yeah, no, I play Ipsis, arcane trickster rogue, who just got her world completely turned upside down. So let's see how this goes.
I am in that boat with you. I am there. Kelly,
Y'all are just having a bad day.
Mm-hmm. With trepidation, I hand over to Kelly. Hurt me, Kelly.
Hello. Vera.
That was a statement.
So last episode we ended up finding ourselves kind of back in the pocket dimension where dusk is, essentially, and arrived back at one of the many midnights that we now know exist all over the place. Always be franchising. And we walked in after a brief moment of confusion with dealing with the front door and Sandor disappearing briefly and reappearing damp yet again. Seems the universe just wants him to take a bath or something. It's a universal sign for sobering up, right?
To be fair, he probably needs a bath most days.
We walked in to midnight and found Shimmer, who is Lonz's little sister, with a knife to Maritza's throat after some brief negotiations, a few dropped bombs, she agreed to release Maritza, as long as everybody understood that she had other backup plans to handle the situation should it not go how she wanted. And all she seemed to want was dinner with her family, which we now know includes both Lons and Ipsis. And that's where we open today, with Shimmer sitting at a table, inviting all of you to sit with her.
Lon's delight is a picture of shock as she was answering Shimmer, right up until Shimmer said actually she was rather thinking of Ipsis, which has left Lon's delight.
Yeah, Ipsis is pretty much in shock, still in shock, almost exactly the same expression I imagine as Lon's, and just kind of looks to Lon's and then looks back at Shimmer and looks back to Lon's and looks back to Shimmer. And then I don't remember if I was already sitting, but I will like walk over to the nearest chair, kind of pull it back to the door where they are and sit.
So you kind of move forward a little bit and grab a chair from some table and then
and then I'll
sit
pull it
by
back
the door.
and then, sit right by the door, at least for the moment.
You all act like you're terrified of me.
Not really terrified, just annoyed.
Yeah, same, pretty much.
Lon's delight won't be able to stop themselves from nodding.
Well, I guess at least you're all honest.
What do you get out of this? Like, what? Obviously, you want more than dinner. What do you get out of this? What kind of information do you want? What's your purpose? Because it's not just dinner, and it never was just dinner. So, I would appreciate it as maybe your sister, which still don't even know if that's true, but we're gonna deal with one thing out of it at a time. Tell us why you're here. Tell us what you want, the real reason why you're here, and the real thing that you want, so that we can just get to the point. Because obviously dinner is not going to happen.
Well, I was originally sent to kill you, she says, looking at Ipsis, by what I believe is an old colleague of yours. But I decided I wasn't interested.
Wait, an old colleague? What do you mean you were sent by one of my old colleagues?
Some young fellow from the Thieves Guild was insistent that you might come back and usurp him or something, paranoid bugger.
Oh.
But then I, did a lot of digging, figured out who you are, asked a couple of questions from the right devil here or there, and decided I didn't feel like it. I don't exactly have all sorts of family left. And I thought it would be nice to get to know them, or re-get to know them.
But you have never once cared about your family. Lons has been gone for how long? And have you cared to check in or give any sort of notice until now? Until now it benefits you in some type of way?
As we discussed already, Lons got out. I did not. It's only been recently that I felt like I could move of my own free will.
Father still live? Still control you?
He had an accident.
Can't say I'm upset.
And Mother got bored. She found a new play toy, as per usual. Keeping track of us was never really an interest to her. She just wanted the contracts. Assurances. She still has that. It's not like I'm gonna go to look her up in the phone book.
So what made you change? You said recently you just felt like you could move of your own free will and wanted to reconnect. So what changed?
Phoronix had his accident. I didn't have anyone looking over my shoulder, forcing me to take one contract or another. When this one came up, I got a new lead and decided I didn't want to take it. And for the first time, I was able to decide not to do something. It's very freeing.
Lons, do you have anything to say? I don't even know her. Just the stories that you've told.
I will turn and look at Ipsis. And I guess I'm just trying to figure out, could this be my sister? Is there any, like, resemblance between us?
If you're sisters, you are not whole sisters. You would have to be half sisters. Because she doesn't Ipsis does not resemble Blooded in any way. And with the tiefling features, it's hard to tell if she resembles your father in any way.
We don't both have the same nose or something. Okay.
It's like I said, it's hard to say. You would probably remember that both of your parents it's not like they were a couple. So the idea that Dad has other children from other people is not shocking. But if this is true, you're not sure.
I suppose that will literally unravel in Lonza's mind as she's thinking it through, and she'll turn back to Shimmer and be like, are there others too?
Odds are pretty good. Obviously not from Mom's side of the family. But neither of them are exactly monogamous.
Okay.
And clearly Dad had a type.
Oh, is she hinting at, like, something really sinister there, or?
I think she just means because 3 of you are all tieflings.
Yeah.
There's an abundance of tiefling happening.
Okay.
We can't blame him. Tieflings are hot.
Tieflings are hot. Clearly. I've always wanted us to be friends, Shimmer. There's no need for violence between us.
And she looks like she is studying how you said that.
I mean, Lons has already dropped her sword. She's sort of like stepping towards her. Yeah, stepping towards her.
I said you could sit. That was the whole reason I'm here.
She released Maritza, right?
She doesn't have a knife at her throat anymore. Maritza is shaken and she hasn't said anything to her, so Maritza's still kind of sitting there at the table.
You let her up from the table, and we'll come sit down.
You can go. You've served your purpose. You made sure that they didn't start firing when they walked in the door.
Sandor will gesture for Maritza to come stand where he is. He's still hanging out pretty close to the door, for the most part, posting up beside it.
I'll get up from the chair that I'm sitting in and make my way over to the table and sit the farthest side from the table across from her.
And Maritza will have gotten up and she will have come and probably taken up post by Sandor, since he's who spoke to her. And so Ipsis, as you walk forward and kind of and take a seat at the table, Shimmer's just like, oh, well, one down.
I'm gonna sit on the chair backwards. I'm gonna like turn it and sit it down just in case anything happens. I could throw the chair at her.
But there's no kids to impress. Lons will go and sit down. I think she'll sit sort of like maybe slightly with her back to Shimmer, or at least like showing like taking a position that isn't easily defensible, like there's a sign of trust sort of thing.
So, I mean, you could. So, Shimmer is sitting such that her back is essentially in the corner, right?
Okay.
So this table is kind of tucked into a corner. Shimmer's back is to the corner. But there is like, you could sit with your back to one wall next to her, which would probably be the least, like the most challenging position to be in, right? If she were to do something, you'd be somewhat trapped, like somewhat confined.
Yeah, sure. As I go, I'm going to drop my pack as well, which would have like my axes and everything on it. Oh, do I drop my shield as well? Yeah, I guess I drop my shield as well. I hadn't planned on that, but there it is.
And you are now vulnerable and sitting next to Shimmer. She just goes, both of them. See, isn't this nice? We're sitting down, we're talking. That's what families do, right?
Well, families also don't try to kill one another. At least, I don't think that's a normal thing in a family.
I mean, it's pretty normal in ours.
Well, that's something I don't know if I can get used to, I guess.
It doesn't have to be pretty normal in ours. I broke the sequence.
I always wondered. I was never privy to those conversations. Did you really break the sequence, sister? Or did Dad just get rid of you?
Probably a little of the second. I would never be as effective as you were, Shimmer, even when you were young. And when he saw that my heart wasn't in killing either, he put me up in a motel for 20 days. After that, I would have to fend for myself. He at least waited until I was 15.
I mean, to be fair, I was probably discarded as well. And I mean, look, we're all sitting here now, so we've all survived the same day to day up until this point. What makes you so
Really?
special?
You think that being out and being free is surviving the same day to day that I've dealt with?
Yeah, circumstances are different, but we're all here at this moment. We've all gotten to this moment. We all are able to sit down and converse, which is weird in of itself. No matter what path we each took, we still ended up in the same place. So your path is no more valid than Lonsdelight's or mine. And just because you might have had it harder doesn't mean that you get to sit here and judge everybody else and think that we are less for it.
I don't think you are less. I think you are lucky.
Luck had nothing to do with it. Do you think it was lucky that I was abandoned? Do you think it was lucky that I was stolen? Who knows, if I was raised in any sort of situation, I wouldn't even be here, doing what I do, being the person that I am.
I would
Do you
much
think
rather
any of
be
that
picked up
was
by some random family than been stuck where I was stuck.
Maybe just the knife play to begin with has set us all off on the wrong foot. Why don't we order something to eat? Perhaps we are hungry.
fair?
I sometimes get mad when I'm hungry. Right, Shimmer?
Yes. Guess that runs in the family too. And on the quietness and the discussion of food, you hear kind of sounds from the back. And Soren pops in with food. And as she walks in, Ransom, you are the only one to hear her. As Soren tells you, this is exactly the kind of thing that I am not allowed to be interfering with. But, you know, if something were to go wrong, you could ask for help from people.
I
And
catch your meaning.
And she walks up to the table and she's like, well, here at midnight we always like to put together a good spread for any and all of our guests. We just prefer we leave violence at the door. So I brought the usual. There's cookies. Let me know if you need anything else. And she walks up to she walks over behind the bar and you hear the clanking of some glasses and stuff, and then she walks up to Sandor and she just goes, you might need one of these.
Thanks.
Ransom is gonna kind of gently and subtly herd Sandor and Maritza towards another table where he can have his back in a corner with Shimmer in full view. He knows this playbook. He's been a part of this playbook. He knows how this goes. He's watching her.
Sandor doesn't appear to be, but he'll follow to the table, flip a chair around to have a seat in it, the wrong way around, and just nurse his drink, occasionally glancing over his shoulder at the other three.
Muted. I haven't really done that yet this campaign. Okay.
I'm
so
muted
good.
hard.
Soren comes back up and she also gives you guys like a full spread. And she just kind of like gives like Ransom like meets his eyes briefly. And kind of heads to the back. It's very clear that she is, to everyone else, that she is keeping her nose out of it. And if there's anything that Ransom or Sandor would like to be looking for or thinking about, or at any point that you want to roll for whatever during this conversation, feel free to let me know verbally or hit me up in chat too. And
I would like to do a real quick read of Shimmer's mind.
Of course. I just saw your post in chat.
It's true. I go to Discord. I just click on private messages, and it's like Kelly. I'm like, yes, Kelly. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely did like a hard refresh right before this episode myself. So are you looking for surface thoughts, Ransom? Or
we're gonna say where the surface thoughts get me for a second. And I'm gonna decide if it's worth the risk of that terrible, terrible save.
So the surface thoughts are just kind of what she's immediately thinking, right?
Anything that's very blatantly apparent, like certain emotions, blah blah blah.
She seems angry. It isn't very clear that she's angry at anything in particular at the moment. She's just mad. You get this like mad at the world kind of thing that is pervasive in her thoughts. And you also get like this kind of depressing curiosity.
Okay. We're gonna leave it at that for now, but he's gonna hold on to that little trick. Because the curiosity is the one that has him like,
So as soon as food is brought to the table, Lons will play mum by instinct and start standing up and just literally asking people, "Would you like potatoes?" You know, like.
The second you stand up, Shimmer jolts back a little bit.
Shimmer, I'm not going to hurt you. I've left all my weapons away from the table.
And she just kind of settles into her chair like nothing happened. I wasn't expecting to show up and get full service.
Looks like we got a new friend!
Variant rolls. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. We are in a very, very intense meetup of sisters who happen to be assassins and demon children and such, with our lovely friend Human and Ransom, who is also a tiefling demon thing, but not related. Did I make that more or less confusing?
little bit more maybe, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, well, would you like, and I look at the bowl I've got, salad?
Sure.
I guess, yeah.
So, is this what family dinner is supposed to be like?
I wouldn't know.
I think she would call out to Sandor and Ransom, and she would be like, "What is your assessment? Does this seem like family dinner to you?"
Not enough yelling.
Yes, that does sound more accurate to me too.
It's been a long time. I don't know.
Well, with father having set the example that he did, I decided to make my family the family I choose. Although I often regret that you were not part of it. There is less shouting that way.
There's less shouting because I'm not here.
No, just less shouting in general. As I say, I would always regretted not being able to get you out of there. As you rightly say, I didn't really get myself out of there either.
Seems like I was the one that was finally the success at that.
Well, if you are behind the accident, definitely owe you something.
It was an accident.
Are you... Do you want to talk about it?
To be fair, I assume that's probably why she's here. To unpack some sort of feeling, resentment. I can't imagine why she would come and not be upset with you if you have exactly what she's looking for. That freedom. You got away and she didn't. She probably resents you for it. And me too, even though I didn't know any part of it. I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, Shimmer, but that's got to be some part of it, right? You want to unpack what happened and why you so vehemently are so upset with how you had to grow up in comparison to the lucky and privileged lives that Lons and I had.
Light looks increasingly concerned as Ipsis talks. It's like her brow furrows more and more.
You were contracted to kill me. Obviously, you've had some turn of heart. That's good. That's progress. Trust me, Lons is the most compassionate person who can turn even, and I'll gesture like to Sandor and Ransom, like even the worst into pretty decent people who care and who can admit that they care. So
I am absolutely still the worst.
So are you trying to say that you're trying to care, Shimmer? Do you really want to know who we are, what we feel, how we think, or is this all just some ploy for you to get us closer and then you're actually going to fulfill the contract? I don't get your ploy. I don't understand what you're trying to do here.
I think Lons can tell you that if I was going to fulfill that contract, you would have had a knife much more squarely in your back a long time ago. Ain't that right?
We would never have seen you coming if you didn't want us to see you.
I have been following you two for a while now. I have seen how you interact, even though you don't even realize that you're family. And I came to talk to you because I wanted to understand how did the abandoned brat and the tortured sister end up good people? You had the same upbringing that I did, so you can see how I turned out.
Not quite, Shimmer. Very similar, but not quite. Maybe up until you came along, but once you were on the scene, I wasn't good for anything. Honestly, I think Father only kept me around until I was 15 because of some kind of sense of duty. I remember those years.
I don't. Not very well. I mean, I remember the training. But that's all I remember.
You don't remember when I would bandage your wounds? Sing you to sleep?
No.
That's understandable, you were very young.
I think the biggest thing that makes us better people, or why we turned out better people, is because we chose to look on the better side of things. You just admitted that you can't even remember your own sister dressing your wounds or singing you to sleep. All you focused on was the negative, the unhappiness, the torture, the training, the long nights, sleepless nights probably. Do you have any remembrance of any sort of interaction with Mons? Or is everything that you remember just negative? Because that can feed into a whole lot else. Maybe we're good people, like I said, because we just took what happened and rolled with it and tried to do everything we could to keep surviving and keep lasting.
I never had the killer instinct like you did. That was part of the problem with me.
That I remember.
That you
I remember you getting yelled at a lot. I remember Dad getting angry at both of us whenever one of us failed. We both know who failed more often. And you, she looks at Ipsos, you talk about all of these finding the bright side of things, not focusing on the negative. I've had a lifetime of being trained to deal with people's negatives. Of the wife who's tired of her husband's habits. Of the young nobleman who thinks you should be closer to the line of the throne. To the dark and the ugly side of petty, stupid people. The only positive thing in my life left me behind. You have no idea how we grew up. You have no idea how I grew up. I came here asking about how you grew up. So let's refocus on that, shall we?
Apparently, everything that I was taught was a lie. You want to sit and wallow in your self-pity? Try feeling that from my perspective. Everything I thought, everything I felt, everything that I was taught, it never mattered. Because somebody like you just waltzed into my life and changed it. Decided that they were going to just crumble everything I believed into dust. Everybody wants to say that they've had it the worst. And I'm not going to say I had it easy. I'm not going to say I enjoyed every part of it, but I'm also not going to say that it was the worst or the best. It was what it was. You grew up the way you grew up. Lons left. And she had every right. She had a choice. She made a choice.
Do you both eat meat?
Lons, I love you.
Looks like
If
we
you
got a
need to
Nerf
get up to
friend.
go get meat, go get meat.
Hello, Tales from the Grim.
Hey, thank you so much for the raid. It's getting real emotional in here. Lauren coming in with the resub. Thank you so much. You have an advantage to gift. Oh, that reminds me, Kelly, thank you for your resub at the start of the show. You also have an advantage. If you'd like to keep it or gift it, it's up to you.
I'ma keep it.
Also, their raid cry that they've bought in seems incredibly appropriate. This is why I gave my sister a knife.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh.
Welcome to more sibling drama.
Yeah.
This is about as sibling drama as it gets, too.
Quick,
Well,
Oh,
no, nobody's been stabbed yet.
Yet. Physically.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Tales from the Grim, for your resub, Greg. You also have an advantage to gift. Thank you.
So Lon's Delight, I imagine, as you're offering whatever meat there is, I think Shimmer kind of takes out a dagger from her pouch, but she's palming it very non-aggressively. But she uses it to eat with. Like she is.
Shimmer, come on, knife and fork. You're sitting at the table.
I don't know if I've ever had a meal around a table that wasn't by myself before. Sorry.
The knife goes in the right hand, the fork goes in the left hand.
She does that. Just oblige. Just do it.
And Shimmer tries. But it's really clear that she doesn't know what she's doing. She's not really sure.
It looks painful. Stop. You look painful. Just stop. It's fine. It's fine. So are we just going to exchange pity party stories, or is there an actual subject matter that you would like to discuss upon?
Perhaps this could be a nice meal between sisters. Why don't we talk about fun things? I remember one time on contracting there was a whole army that nearly got wiped out. I had to pretend to be dead for 3 days on the field. It's not actually that funny. That charisma bonus is still low.
I would like to just pan briefly over to Ransom and Sandor, and as Lons is telling this story, Maritza chokes a little on the glass of water she's drinking from and looks at the other two of you guys. She's like, and it looks like she's shaking less.
Yeah, something about that was horrifyingly endearing.
Who knew her terrible turn of phrase would actually lighten the mood?
Greg gives her advantage to Jess. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
And I would actually like to pause to check in with Lons and Ipsis and see how we are feeling.
Lons can go first.
Lon's Delight really wants this to be real. She's felt so bad for like, what? How old is she now? Oh, for like 17 years, she's felt bad about leaving her sister behind and wondering what if and if she could have done anything better. And now that her sister's here, she really wants this to be okay. But she knows there's something fundamentally wrong going on here, and she kind of wants to stop Ipsis from like stirring the pot, but also Ipsis has a lot of good points, and as usual, Lons is a hot mess right now.
I guess Ipsis is weirdly composed, but also thrown in this like chaotic mentality of like trying to, because her whole thing is like looking on the bright side, and that's why she's made it and has been this naive little being for so long and able to stay in her own world. And that is literally just got turned on its head, and she feels like she's fighting this dichotomy of like, my whole life was a lie and I can still be okay and come out on top of this. And I think there's a place of anger where it's like, how dare you come into my life and screw that up because you need something in return, which is where all this like emotion is coming from, and like real hard truths, and trying to like dig deep, because I feel like she's almost trying to talk to herself in that sort of situation as well, and trying to process it while she's trying to understand what is actually going on, because she cares more about how Lons is seeing this whole situation more than how she has to perceive it, because this is more heavy on her because she's lived with her and known that she's her sister, whereas I have my own feelings because I'm just being told this. It's all very fresh. So I'm trying to ask these questions more to help Lons and maybe me process it in the meantime.
And as Shimmer tries to figure out how to eat somewhat properly, she's like trying to sit up straight.
Look, you hold it still with the fork, make a soaring action with the knife.
Okay.
Just like cutting flesh off of a bone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. She seems somewhat more confident now. She's like, so what do people talk about at family dinner?
We've done a pretty good job so far. Usually there is some kind of angry discussion. Sometimes just the events of the day, sometimes catching up on all the things that have happened in between. We've already done some of that too.
Why don't you tell me about your friends?
Okay, well, my latest friend is Sandor and Ransom. We picked them up. Not here, but kind of here. Wherever here
I tried
is.
to rob her. She decided to just give me money instead.
Oh, you weren't trying to rob me, you just stopped me in the street.
Yeah, sure.
Knowing him, he was absolutely trying to rob you.
Well, you weren't very good at it.
Is that how it works? You're not
Not
that good, you're
always.
just stupid.
More or less.
Ransom is really good at reading situations.
I still don't know how exactly I ended up here with everybody, to be entirely honest.
Those two are still figuring out their relationship.
What are you talking about? I figured out my half.
See?
Uh-huh.
And well, Ipsis, we've known each other for quite some time. We took on mercenary work together, what? 6 months, a year?
Just about a year at this point, I'd say.
Rather cranky, that one.
Yeah, you get used to it.
I get the sense, Ipsis, that you don't like me very much.
To be fair, I've only heard not very nice things from this one over here.
Oh, that's not true. I've told you that she's a fantastic assassin.
Yeah, good at her job, but, one not to be dealt with, very lethal and deadly, which is definitely someone I don't want to be too close to in the wrong side of things. But unfortunately, I'm there, so how worse could it get? I don't want to dislike you, especially if I'm now some family member of yours, but it's going to take a whole lot of convincing that you did this for some sort of beneficial reason to everyone and not just yourself.
Does there have to be some kind of master plan?
Not necessarily, but I feel like with you, there always is. You're a
You
master
said that
manipulator,
barely-
assassin. For you, there's always a plan. How many times have you worked off of a plan?
I mean, the only time I've ever gone astray from the plan was this. I mean, albeit there's some kind of a, backup plans, right? But one has to protect oneself.
I don't, like I said, I don't get your ploy. I don't think this is about dinner or putting your family back together. I think you have a plan, and I'm just trying to make sure that we're all protected in this plan.
Maybe there isn't a master plan. Maybe Shimmer really does want to reconnect with us. Right, Shimmer?
Well, clearly the way you've spoken about me suggests otherwise.
To be fair, she didn't say too much negative. I get upset. I've been with Lawns for a while now, and she's an amazing person who cares a lot about everybody, who puts her neck out for everybody.
But
And
why?
That's a question for her.
Cauliflower cheese?
And I think she takes the plate from you and throws it against the far wall behind the bar.
I don't know why, Shimmer, okay? I don't know. I don't know why you find it easy to kill people you've never met before. I don't know why I find it easy to try and look after them.
Would you have done it?
Done what?
We were training. And I accidentally followed through instead of stopped when Phoronix dropped his guard. And he laid there, bleeding out. And I walked away. Three or four nights later, I realized that my too nice to be an assassin's sister walked away from, me metaphorically bleeding out on the ground.
How could I know where you were?
And I came here because I wanted to know if you would have done it. Because I don't understand how you came out apparently a half-decent person. And I haven't had enough human interpersonal interaction to know apparently how to hold a fork and knife.
You have been out from under his influence for 5 days. Give yourself a chance. I've had 17 years to learn how to be a better person. You can't be so hard on yourself, Shimmer. When you've had that sort of influence lording over you for so long, of course you have bad habits. Like the elbows on the table. But that can't be helped. You don't know any better. Even if you do have a good, strong kill instinct, I've known men, women who have strong kill instincts. They can still be... They learn to compartmentalize where they leave it on the battlefield. You could do the same. Work mode, maybe. Turn it off. Problem is, you've been stuck in work mode for so long. It's going to be hard to turn that off, but we can help you. If you want to be a good person, you can be. All you have to do is choose to be. Look at it like this. When our father Pharonix was laying on the floor bleeding out, you didn't ram the blade in again. You could have. I certainly wouldn't have healed him. The amount of people who have suffered at that man's hand, it serves a greater good to let him die. And that's aside from my own reasons.
Roll persuasion check.
Ah!
With advantage.
Oh, phew.
"21.
Some of us aren't designed to be good people. I mean, what do you think of me now, Ipsis? I just said that I murdered your father in cold blood.
I never knew the man, and he gave me away. I'm not so sure I would have wanted to meet him if I had the chance. I kind of moved past that.
Well, you seem
No.
rather intelligent.
No one is designed to be a good person, Shimmer. It's a choice. One you have not been allowed to make. Until today.
If it's such an easy choice, the thing I don't understand.
It's not an easy choice.
The thing I don't understand. Good God, you have a mouth. Is why. You, dark and brooding over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could be talking about either of you. So...
The one
Not-
glowering or the one ignoring?
Probably Ransom is who she's looking at, but she takes a moment and she's like, eh.
Right, go ahead. Talk over the only human in the room.
No, go for it, only human in the room.
You don't seem like particularly good people. You're also not going around, shanking people in the middle of the night, so why?
No, I usually shank people if they try to piss me off. They gotta start it first.
Why?
It's what I'm good at.
One of three things.
You remembered. I'm proud.
I remember a lot of the things you say.
For what it's worth. Blood's nice and all, but it doesn't really make you family.
Being a good person. Lonsdelight is right in that you've never had the choice. The man who raised you sounds like all he wanted to do was mold a monster. And maybe he would have succeeded. But maybe he won't if you choose not to let him. Spite the
Well,
bastard.
he's dead now. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
My family. I'm a product of them. I'm not a good person because of them, and I never fully made the choice to be better. I started selling secrets. I didn't kill anybody, but I did indirectly. Many, probably. And I don't regret it either, but I do good things here and there. Maybe every now and then I do a little bit to balance it out. So I'm not a good person, but I'm not exactly a terrible one either. And that's an option too. You have choices now. They're hard. They're scary. But they're yours.
One more question.
Your potatoes are going cold.
Bless Lawns. Bless.
What do you think about her? And Shimmer gestures to Lawns. Be honest, I know she's sitting right here and she can hear you and yada yada yada, but just assume I could tell if you were lying or not.
I don't lie.
I
Ever.
have observed that.
Looks like we got a new
So-
friend.
Thing about her. I walked up, I tried to rob her in broad daylight, which was the dumbest fucking thing I could have done, but it worked out. Because you know what she did? She didn't raise a weapon. Didn't tell me to fuck off. She grabbed me by the arm, took me into town, and bought me dinner. She didn't have to. I was starving out in the woods that day. I'd used up my last coin 2 days ago, drinking. There was no work. Could have died. But I'm still here. Because of her.
Luckily for the rest of us.
More raiders.
Yay!
Welcome, Raiders.
Hey!
Who was that one? It was Roll Call RP. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. It's getting awfully dramatic in here.
Oh yeah.
Buckle
Welcome
in.
to the drama.
What about you?
Grateful for her.
I need alcohol for this conversation. takes a swig, hands it back.
Perhaps a little wine would be nice. Normally we drink with a meal.
Same. Please.
3 glasses?
A bottle.
I look to Shimmer as in inviting her to drink.
Sure.
I'll go
Long-
behind the bar and grab things myself.
Your older sister
We're just in town. Quick,
is
get the major van.
unfailingly overwhelming. What just happened? Oh dear.
10 anonymous gift subs. Thank you so much, anonymous gifter. If you've just been gifted a subscription, you have an advantage to gift to a player or DM of your choice. Just let us know who. Thank you so much, anonymous, whoever you are. We've had so many anonymous gift subs over the last 3 days. It's actually crazy.
We're just in town.
Thank you. How does one deal?
You don't.
Y'all are too sweet.
Thank you.
I have no idea what I just said.
Neither do I. Start from the beginning.
I'm so sorry.
Your older sister is incredibly overwhelming. She does nothing by halves. She is very much in other people's business, and she's very... I don't think she has a brain-to-mouth filter. And
I've noticed
all
that.
of... Yeah. And all of that has forced me to care about her, which is disgusting. She's the bravest person I think I've ever known. And probably the most good. Because she's fought to be that way. I don't know why she puts up with either of us. He points at himself and Sandor. But I'm glad she does. I need more alcohol. He just steals Sandor's flask this time. Takes it.
Let me to go around.
Yep. He just takes a very long swig and hands it back. Nope. Too much.
If the bottle of wine has arrived, Sandor refills the flask. It's mixed with whatever the hell is already in there.
Sandor, that was wine.
It's fine. It'll mix with the rest.
Okay.
And what about you? And she looks at Maritza. Me? Yes. When I first saw Ons, she was really awkward, which is really cute. And then things got confusing. We haven't known each other very long. And she said a lot of things about you and past which are scary to me. It made me ask a lot of questions that I didn't really like. Seems like she's lives a complicated life. And I don't know if I want to be involved with something complicated. But in her awkwardness, you can also tell how genuine she is. And then how much she cares and how much she tries. And that is something that's nice to have around. Trying is half of it. It's more than half of it. It's almost all of it. And how much she tries means a lot to me. How much she's trying here right now with you, I think, is impressive. To be honest, I probably would have ran by now. If I was her, I probably would have stabbed you by now. Sad to say, my skills are not in that particular area. You keep genuine people close to you, and you at least try to see how it fits. And if they don't fit, they don't fit, but building a relationship together, you and your sister, it's worth a shot. The worst thing that happens is you shake hands and say goodbye later.
Lons is pretty shook. Team NTG, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everyone. It's been real emotional in here tonight. It's also been a ton of fun. Get yourself ready for some heavy RP. Welcome.
Well, Shimmer talks, kind of blustering. I was fully prepared to kill all of you.
Kind of figured.
My weapons are on the floor. If you wanted to, you could.
Yeah, I mean, there's a rune underneath every table in here, don't you?
You'd be surprised what I could live through.
You'd be surprised what I could do.
Anyway, said you were prepared to kill us, but we're still alive, so it sounds like you've changed your mind. Or you're still waffling, which is fine.
If I were to say, I don't know. Would you all even let me walk out of here?
It's not my call to make.
No.
Even if that's what I wanted to do.
Not without a fight. Sandor says that blood doesn't make us family, but I disagree. I do remember dressing your wounds and singing you to sleep.
Ransom? Insight for me.
Oh, yay!
Do that thing you do.
Do the thing you do.
Do the
Okay.
voodoo that you do so well.
I'm gonna use an advantage just because I feel like having fun.
Good choice. She remembers she's blustering.
Oh, yeah. Kind of figured that. Yeah, no, he's gonna call her out. He's gonna... You're not the best liar I've ever seen in my life. Good. Not that good. You're lying to yourself, trying to make yourself believe it more than you are trying to convince us in reality, when you need to believe your own lies to convince us. If you did the research on who your sister hangs out with now, I'm sure you know what I've done. You know that I would see through that. Come on now. You remember her. You remember her kindness. And that's why you feel so abandoned.
I don't understand how you just were the nice one. From the very beginning. You were the nice one. And I always thought that that was weak and sad and a little pathetic. And then one day, I had no one left. And I followed. I had one last contract sitting on my desk. A contract from your former guild. She nods to Ipsos. I did my due diligence, figured out who you were, etc., etc. And I followed you, and I saw you, Blonde's Delight, trying to turn those two messes over there into decent people.
They are doing wonderfully well. If you noticed, although Sandor is sitting on the table back to front, he is sitting on the chair. And if I was sitting at the table with him, I would probably correct the way he's sitting on it. But you're my priority right now, Shimmer.
Am I?
In this moment, yes.
You seem rather easily distracted.
Don't you distract yourself when things are awkward? Isn't that what all of this is? Isn't that why we're still alive having a conversation?
Fair. As I was saying, I saw you, Blonde's Delight, traveling with this pack of... I don't even know what they are.
Be polite.
I mean, look at them. It's like you took garbage and set it on fire, and that's what resulted. I've seen that in alleyways after riots.
The worst thing I've been called.
I hate how she's not wrong.
Sandor raises his glass to toast.
Sandor toast! Or ransom toast? God damn it.
And you
It's-
managed to pull them together, and I realized that maybe it would be nice to not spend the rest of my life just killing people for a living.
You don't have to. Look, yes, they may be a bit messy, they may make bad decisions, but all people make bad decisions.
So many bad choices.
The
So
reason...
unrepentant.
But you can see exactly what I see. Fire. Fire burning. Passion like no other. They are so eager to do the right thing for little cause, really, except for me nudging them in the right direction. They front whilst you're here, but otherwise they wouldn't. Look at Ipsis. Ipsis has that fire too. You've seen it in the way she talks to you.
Yeah, she's a little bitchy. No
She's
offense.
learned...
I mean that as a compliment.
It's not a compliment. But she's learned to take it and channel it and direct it.
Well, here's the problem we remain with. Like the two of you, really all of you, I'm good at 2 or 3 things. Blackmail,
It's a good one. Useful.
assassination.
Still useful. A little harder to place.
I hear
And-
aggressive negotiations. I hear combat.
I don't. I don't know what to do with my life. I have nothing left.
That's not true.
Except a mother who
Let's not talk
I hope
about her.
interest again.
Although you say it was 5 days ago that you killed father. Interesting that mother has been leaving my dreams somewhat. But still, it's not true. You do have something. That's surely why you followed us, why you watched. You still have a sister, and if you're willing to put in some effort, maybe a family. Like I said earlier, my family is the family that I choose.
And how would you propose we move forward? Because as I sit here right now, the sassy sister, she like chokes a little on using the word sassy, still looks displeased that I'm here, maybe. It's hard to say. And the rest of your friends, I think, will be putting their backs in the corner with me in the room for the foreseeable future.
Of course they will. You're extremely good at killing people, and you're very proud of that.
Don't take it
Trust.
personally.
Trust is...
I've always done this. I was a spy. You literally know what my playbook is. This is the playbook.
The point is that trust is very easily lost and difficult to gain. Every day that you don't stab one of us is a step in the right direction. Even
But it-
Ipsis, I'm sorry, but even stabbing Ipsis without killing Ipsis is kind of a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, Ipsis.
No,
she's
that's
kind-
fair. That's fair.
Like to
You're
point out,
muted.
I was also.
Oh no, you're just quiet, sorry.
I would like to point out that I was also nice enough to, give you a family gift in the process of stabbing you. I know it wasn't, packaged very well, but
I mean,
I figured you
true.
should have something from father. Really, all he was good at was procuring odd weapons.
I still have a sword which
We're
acquired.
definitely gonna want to work on the mode of your delivery of presents,
Just a smidge.
but that's for later.
That'll come with time.
It was a creative thought.
And
wouldn't
it's
say
the thought that counts.
Yeah, I guess.
If you want to start stepping in the right direction, first thing we have to do is just stop this. The accusatory jabbing at people with questions and asking for cross-references and refusing to hold your knife properly despite being instructed several times. Sometimes it's just about relaxing and letting time heal things. Time heals all wounds.
Well,
I mean, does it though?
No, it doesn't, but you can start to ignore him after a while.
that's more accurate.
I mean, unless you're like missing a head.
That's not a wound. That just means
That's
you're dead.
just dead.
It was funny though. I made a joke. Be impressed. I'm relaxing.
You know, that kind of fits my sense of humor. I'm gonna give her a point for that one.
See,
Great.
Shimmer?
Friends.
I didn't say friends, I said a point. A point.
When I look at you, Shimmer, all I see is one more hot mess. Perhaps more lethal. Sometimes the fire rages more than others. I couldn't hear you there. Might have just been quiet again. Whoa!
I said, all right. Be less
This.
She gestures to all of herself.
You don't have to be less yourself, just put the dagger away and use a normal knife.
I kind of need this for a moment. Hold on a second. And you hear a scraping sound on the underside of the table as she drags her dagger along something.
You just broke a spell sigil, didn't you?
Did say she had the room trapped.
A sign of good faith.
That's awful sweet of you.
You might want to do it on your table too.
Sandra will just grab like a steak knife or something. And then set it back down at Ransom's place.
That
See?
being said, I still insist that I have tricks up my sleeve, so please don't, stab me in my sleep.
I have no interest in doing that. That sounds like a lot of effort.
If I'm gonna stab you, I'd call you out to fight and we do it the right way.
My specialty's intel, not stabbing.
I don't assassinate people, I just kill them.
So. Seems like family dinner is done.
Somehow it was more successful than any I think I've ever seen.
Sure as hell beats any family dinner I ever had at my house.
Right?
See, that's a point for us.
You were so chatty at the beginning, but you've quieted down. Did I say something to offend you? She's looking at Ipsis. I do that a lot. Usually it's on purpose.
Well, not particularly. I mean, trying to come to terms with a lot of what's happening, trying to understand it in my own way and not be angry. I don't trust you. That's earned, not
I already
given.
decided that you're the smart one.
Well, besides the point, if you're willing to put in some effort, I guess I could be too. But if you make a wrong move, I would not hesitate, nor do I think you would. And I think that's a fair assessment on both our parts.
Already we're finding similarities in us sisters.
And at that point, Ipsis will just start rubbing her temples.
And in a last show of goodwill, because you all have rolled very well on your persuasion checks, the dagger in Shimmer's hand that she has been using disappears.
Are you still using sleight of hand to make it look like you're a bard?
No.
Oh.
Just a special blade. My musical talents didn't improve over the years. The whole bard thing kind of stopped working a little bit. I've done other options, but I find that just, showing up in a dark alley in the back of a house, black tends to do the trick.
Cheers to that.
Shimmer, what do you do now? Is this your weird way of saying you want to now tag along? Or do you have Prospers for some other solo adventure in your life? What do you do now?
Well, at some point I'm going to have to go back to that Thieves Guild and somehow express that I've chosen not to complete my task.
Or you could just
pretend you're dead.
I thought I was doing a good enough job not being a problem. Looks like I'll have to do something eventually. Or you, something eventually.
Why do the Thieves Guild want you dead, Ipsis?
That question still confounds me. Mantra warned me. Now Shimmer is warning me. Mantra got me out. I expressed to her I didn't want to be involved anymore. I wanted to do something else with my life, whatever it may be, but I wanted that choice. And she helped sneak me out. Maybe he's just upset over that, thinks I'm a liability, when in reality I just don't care anymore. It's just not what I want to do.
They think you took something, maybe?
I don't know what I could have taken. To be really honest, the only thing I took was a small bag of my own belongings, some clothes, and that's about it. I don't have any big secrets. I never really completed my formal training. I never went on any formal runs. I was always just the helper who kind of stayed back to make sure everything was okay. I supervised.
What was Mantra's ranking in the guild?
I mean, she was the leader. She was high up there. She called the shots just as much as any other top-ranking thief would. I mean,
And you were her protege and pseudo-daughter. They might see you, whoever's in charge might see you as a possible threat to their leadership. You were trained and raised by who was their leader. Perhaps if people didn't like who's currently in charge, and you ever showed an interest in taking over, people would support you more than whoever currently rules. Just a thought.
no, a fair thought. And even with that, I mean, I've been gone for 5 years now.
I
Why
know,
would
but
they wait until now to
I mean,
find me?
to be fair, I've seen exiled princes come back after 9 years with an army. So, sure,
The
this
new
one has
leader
too.
over there, the new boy in charge, seems paranoid. Sniveling and paranoid might be the best.
He was always like that. Doesn't
Great
surprise me.
I could deal with him if you want. That would be a good thing for a good task. Right? That's a positive thing.
I
Not the
don't
worst
think
thing.
having the entire guild after you would be a good thing. Not saying you couldn't take him
If
on. I
nothing
just,
to do.
in all honesty, it would be way easier for me to be pretending I'm dead than for you to go and do that. I wouldn't want that even on you.
I had considered trying to talk to Mother. See if she would be inclined to release us from expectations. I would like the dreams to stop.
Do you know why the dreams happen?
It's not clear. I think.
You think?
I think she might have regrets about her decision to let us stick around. She might be too busy to deal with us, and that's her way of keeping us on a leash. I don't know. But it would be
Okay, but isn't your mother like a literal fucking demon?
Yeah,
Yes.
I could offer some advice in that instance. Have some kind of leverage. Either have some sort of deity on your side, swear to one. Paladin, option. Cleric, option. Or find some kind of power to bargain with. Otherwise, you're going to come out the worst end of it. Even devils tend to shrink at the power of a god, and if you gain one's favor,
Maybe we could just send them like a picnic hamper?
send a
Long-
picnic hamper to a god.
It was a terrible idea.
A little bit. It's very you though, so you know. Probably would work if it was not a god. If it's something you genuinely, the three of you, want, I could try and look into helping. Maybe.
I don't think Ipsis is anything to do with Bloodin.
Two of you then.
I feel like looking into this would be something good for me to do. Something useful. Probably put my skills to at least some kind of work. And
Most likely.
I can keep you apprised of my progress. Check it.
For today, why don't we just try and enjoy a meal? That's what you wanted, right? You put me on edge a lot when you were trying to step Maritza, but why don't we all sit at the table together and just enjoy a meal?
All right. I thought I was very clear. Dagger to the throat was just to make sure you just didn't walk in the door and start statting. Like, how else would you propose I haven't secured that?
I think this was the metaphorical same thing as when I first spoke to Maritza. It's kind of awkward.
Well, let's eat then and finish this food, and then I'll leave.
I don't want you to leave.
Do you think your friends really want me to stay?
No.
Doesn't matter to me.
I don't particularly care either way. Stay, go, it's your choice. Just don't kill us, or try to.
That's pretty much the crux of it.
Our bar is real low around here, be perfectly honest.
Pretty much.
Sandor will get up, drag his chair over, probably pretty noisily, and sit back down in it.
That was unpleasant at best.
Ransom gets up a tad more gracefully, but he drops into sit beside Sandor again and just sighs.
Ipsis, come, sit on your chair properly, relax.
Sure. Okay. And I'll turn my chair around and sit there.
Drink, Sparkle?
Which one's Sparkle?
Shimmer.
Whatever.
And I think she takes a very long drink of the wine bottle at the table instead.
I know. Okay.
Well,
This is something that we used to do back in mercenary camp when we were a new company and we didn't know each other, to break the tension and stop everyone from trying to, who's got the biggest sword and have fights.
Oh no.
Let's play a drinking game.
Oh god.
Deal.
sure, want to lose.
We will inevitably lose, but you do have a head start, Sandor, so don't be too confident.
Fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
What kind of drinking game?
I have a coin, a silver piece. I have a glass. I'll put the glass in the middle of the table. If you can bounce the coin into the glass, you can dictate someone else to drink. If you miss, you drink.
How does that help people get to know each other?
You'll see.
Okay.
Alright, sure.
Who's going first?
Ipsis will take the coin out that she's had stashed in her hair since like the second episode, and she'll take it and she'll bounce it and try to get it in the cup.
Roll dex for me.
Okay.
Looks like we got a lure.
Well,
Or not.
Well,
So now, Ipsis, you drink.
I'll take a giant swig of the wine bottle, set it down, and then immediately go back and grab 3 bottles from behind the bar and leave 2 gold pieces on the counter and bring the bottles back over and just set them in the middle.
Oh boy.
And then just sit back down. I don't say anything.
I just remembered how much I hate being drunk.
Well, which way are we going around the table? Is it Ransom next or Shimmer?
I think Shimmer will try and go.
Are we setting a DC for this?
I set it in my head as above 12 is a success.
So now, Shimmer, you drink.
Okay.
I've just got like the Anakin bit in my head when he's in the pod racer, just like, it's working, it's working. Shimmer will snatch up the coin and take her turn.
You mean Lon's Delight?
Lon's Delight, yes. Sandor, you drink.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I just realized that you probably are going to take the most of hell.
Ransom.
So you get to
Sandor.
pick someone.
Sandor.
Oh, again? All right.
You can handle it.
I know.
And Sandor.
Oh no.
I have a feeling that we will all be picking on Sandor until Sandor is nearly falling over.
I'm sort of trying to decide if I want to use advantage on this. I think I will, just for shits and giggles.
Watch him get a nat 20. Just watch. Close enough. Damn it.
Ransom.
And we will continue on through the game and assume that everyone drinks quite a bit. Sandor probably more than anyone else, however.
But I feel like that's just par for the course for them.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah.
keeping them caught up.
And everyone is going to roll me a constitution check at the
Oh
end.
no. Check or
It's gonna be
save?
save. Sorry, save. Constitution save. It's going to be rather high. And Ransom and Sandor, use those disadvantages, please.
Oh.
Can I cancel it out with an advantage?
Yes. You can cancel it out if
I think I just failed.
Oof.
That's a pretty poor roll for Sandor.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a very poor roll for.
Oh. I actually didn't do a constitution save. I'm a dummy.
Oh, what's the modifier? We can just add it on.
I have a +6.
15 then.
Holy shit, Shimmer.
Oh,
just
no
actually
one
roll
wanted to pick Shimmer because we didn't want to like victimize her.
So, Ipsis, Ransom, and Lons. Because you said it was a a 15.
Yeah, because I just don't know how to use my character sheet.
Yeah, so you just barely. So Ransom, Lancelot, and Ipsis. Over the course of this game, you guys all end up trashed.
Good job, guys.
Meanwhile, Shimmer, who nobody wanted to pick on, and Sandor, who has the constitution of a frost giant.
Maybe he's good at. Well, no, this is one of the 3 things he's good at, I guess.
Are doing fine.
So are these 3 just like under the table or passed out or what's up?
I think that's up to the 3 of you. Are you drunk to passed out, or are you just kind of messy, or what does this look like?
Ipsis has like one leg extended onto the table. She's like sitting like this in her chair, and she's like playing with the bird in her hair, just like talking to it. Like, well, what is your name? What is your name? What's
Do you want to try out another name?
Yeah, I would like to try and insight check this bird to see if it would like to be called Geppetto.
Okay, roll that insight.
Oh.
Oh!
Too drunk to read the bird's body language, I guess.
Yep.
You think that the bird would like to be called Geppetto?
It is settled. It is settled. And I'll like get up, kind of like shoot up, and just slam my hand on the table and just be like, "This is Geppetto. Everyone say hello to Geppetto."
It's a pleasure to meet you, Geppetto.
Hi, Geppetto.
Ransom mutters in Infernal. He's reverted entirely to Infernal.
And Shimmer just kind of like...
He's like half leaning on Sandor at this point, and just kind of listless. His eyes are staring at the ceiling, and he's just gone. And every now and then he mutters something in Infernal. And those of you who speak Infernal realize he's totally spilling secrets of kingdoms that he's worked for.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for that raid. Ascension Stories, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. It was still a real emotional in here, just in a different way. It was real intense a minute ago. Welcome, everyone. So many raids tonight. Thank you, everyone. So much
Sandor
love.
just occasionally reaches over and is like, "Yep, good to know. Thanks, buddy."
Quick question, how close do you get to his horns? Okay.
Like, middle.
Perfect.
Sandor, do you speak Infernal? No.
He does.
Right? Oh, you do? I think he does. So literally everyone at the table.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're saying.
Y'all totally just learned that the queen of this country has like 4 different affairs going on right now, and the heir to the country is actually a bastard.
Cool.
Sandor, you would notice that Shimmer seems to be paying a lot of attention to this. It's like old habits die hard, right? Like she's.
Sandor, meanwhile, is like, "Shit, I think I know that guy."
There's a reason Ransom doesn't get drunk. There's a reason.
I don't know
Sandor,
how. Go on.
If you would permit me, I would even say that one of the 4 people you know, at least you know very well.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's fair.
It strikes you that he's very young for the queen.
I was like,
go girl. Like,
oh.
like,
Huh. Good for him.
I don't know exactly how it happens, but I'd like to think that Lons the Light ends up drunkenly slumped on Shimmer in some way.
Like head on his shoulder.
Yeah, that would work.
And as the night winds down, you're all here in midnight. Maritza seems to have gone upstairs quite a long time ago.
She didn't join us for
And-
the drinking game.
No.
Maybe she doesn't like getting sloppy.
Neither does Ransom. Look where he is right now.
Oops. Sandor definitely picked on him every time he won.
Oh yeah. I have no doubt.
Yeah. Sandor is definitely the reason that Ransom is
Yeah.
trashed.
Oh yeah. So now he has to deal with the cuddly tiefling because Ransom's cuddling right now. Whoops.
Just as planned.
I'm not shocked.
And Soren, after cleaning up a plate smashed against one wall and looking to go around kind of prestidigitating marks off the bottom of all of their tables. Kind of looks at you all and just, your place is empty. You can take all of your usual places, and Shimmer, there's enough room for you upstairs too, if you want to, stay the night.
It's a little bit late to head out. You might as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think this one though really needs to get to bed.
Yep.
I think.
Looks like we've got some carrying to do. And he's going to carry Ransom up to whatever room Ransom took first. And just like drop him on the bed and then leave. And come back down for Ipsis and do the same thing.
I think Shimmer aids Alon's Delight upstairs.
I think Shimmer would, Lonsdelight would be humming almost nonsensically, but Shimmer would recognize it as like one of the made-up tunes that she used to sing.
And Shimmer hums along. Briefly, and then stops herself.
And I die.
Same.
And she kind of gets you into bed, tucks you in.
I'll turn over and go to sleep.
And how do each of you sleep?
Can I just rewind for 1 second? Because just kind of finished that real quick.
Go ahead.
Before Sandor left the room, still in Infernal, Ransom said, "I like you more than I should," and then promptly passed out.
Dying.
I do believe as Sandor is shutting the door, we just see a little smirk. And then he goes back downstairs to collect Ipsis and put her away.
Put her away.
Anyway, Ransom sleeps like a log.
Tidying up the plates, like.
Just tucking all his friends in because he's still, well, not sober, but conscious.
Normal, then.
I have an important question. Does the squad know that Sandor speaks Infernal?
I don't think he's ever mentioned it.
I don't think so either.
He's never mentioned it.
Never mentioned it. And anytime they spoke in Infernal, he never reacted. They don't know!
Nope.
Please.
Okay.
I love everything about this. Just everything.
And everyone sleeps. Yes.
I was gonna say, I probably would have stirred when being set into the bed before I end up going to sleep. I want to try to reach into my pocket, where, like, one of my pant pockets, where I put that vial of the scent of home, and I want to smell it. And in my drunken state, can I tell if it smells or?
Say that again.
Like, does it smell different than it did before, like the first time I'd ever smelt it? In my drunken state, can I tell?
It smells exactly the same.
Okay, then I'll just smell it and promptly go to bed.
And Lawns, in the night, you begin to have those creeping feelings in your dreams. They're not dramatic. They're starting there. But then you, maybe for the first time, you really notice that they stop kind of partway through, and you see in your mind's eye a winged being kind of standing between you and the darkness.
Ariel.
And you just kind of go back to a normal sleep. And you all wake up the next morning. Let's roll constitution checks for our 3 drunken party members.
Checks or saves?
Saves. To see how well we're handling the morning after.
I accidentally kept my disadvantage, but you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it.
It's not much better either way, to be honest.
Yeah, there's no point.
Not a big difference.
Nope. Either way.
Ipsis, you're fine. You slept real well. Nice big stretch. Lons, you've got that like headache, right?
They were drinking a lot of wine.
Yeah. Yeah, that headache.
That one.
And Ransom, you feel like you are gonna barf everywhere.
Oh no, he wakes up and the first thing he does is puke out the window.
Oh. Look out below.
He does not care.
Sandor, you may hear the throwing up sound. It's something that sounds very like yes.
He's like, yes. I know that sound. I have been there.
It's a very recognizable sound.
Back in the day when I was young and green. Well, younger.
When you were a teeny tiny babe.
Yeah, when I was much smaller than I am now.
I think Lons would emerge from the room with the classic nose pinch. Just like wandering down, possibly hears the sound of ransom and has to stop themselves and steady themselves for a bit. And is just making their way towards water.
I think on hearing ransom, Sandor has probably emerged and gone down to the common room to get several mugs of water ready and waiting.
Um,
And food.
as you head down there, you can probably Soren's probably down there. She's like, if you want to get the water, I'll get the food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Catch Lons either on the landing or halfway down the stairs, sort of like taking them one at a time, hand on the wall, you know? Morning,
and so
Sandor.
Lons and Sandor have made their way downstairs.
Yeah, he's setting down the water and pulling out a chair for Lons. Have a seat. Let's get you hydrated.
I come like barreling down the stairs and just like,
Skipping.
yeah, like stretching, like, woo, such a good night's sleep. And then I'll come and like pop a chair down right next to Sandor.
Ipsis, I hate you. I hate you right now. I want you to know
Oh.
that.
You're one of those.
Oh, so it really got you. It really got you, Lons, didn't it?
How are you fine? You drank just as much as me, if not more.
Well, you're both doing better than
Oh, no.
Ransom. He's gonna be about 5 pounds lighter by the time he comes down.
Oh, jeez.
Poor boy.
Drink.
Sips.
Just
the first sip probably.
Water. I promise I didn't put anything in it.
Oh, Lons trusts you. She'll take a sip, and that first sip probably is going to taste a lot like wine. So, there'll be faces, but she'll continue to drink. Has anyone seen Shimmer this morning?
Not yet. She put you to bed. I haven't seen her since.
Sandor, as you're kind of getting glasses of water and refilling things from behind the bar, you notice an envelope on the bar top.
What's it say? If anything.
It doesn't say anything on the outside.
He's gonna drop it on the bar for Lon's delight. Have a feeling that's for you.
Oh.
I love how you just had an envelope.
And I'll
Props are great.
pull out the letter.
And it just says, "See you soon."
Lons is gonna take it and fold it twice and put it in her chest plate pocket. There's a pocket like just under the side there. She's gonna tuck it in the side so it's fairly close to her heart. I don't think we'll be seeing Shimmer this morning.
Decided to take off and leave a note, huh?
See you soon. Maybe she'll return.
Well, look at it this way. Seems like you cleared some things up.
I never wanted closure, Sandor.
She said see you soon. Probably means she'll be back.
I hope so.
People have a hard time walking away from you. You know that?
Lonsdale doesn't know how to react to that statement at all. She is not in any way prepared for that. See, like just a look of confusion cross her face, and blinks a few times.
Sandor just pretty much always has that ready to make a wisecrack smirk on his face, but there's a softness in his eyes. You know I don't lie, Lons.
You tell the truth as you see it.
Now eat up. That headache's not going to go away unless you work on soaking it up with some bread.
Lonsdale will opt for some of the sweet cakes on the table.
How's Ransom doing?
You know how I always say he constantly looks like he hasn't slept in a month? It's worse!
Cool.
It's at this point that he starts making his way down the stairs, and he's still carrying himself pretty well. He's holding himself very straight, and he's moving maybe a little more clumsily than usual, but his face, he just looks murderous, honestly.
Doom.
I think Ipsos is like shoving her face with food and then just kind of like looks and has one of those where it's like, like, oh no, like, oh
God.
no.
Ipsos, he looks right at you, notices this expression.
I just like immediately go back to like eating my food with my face down. And don't look up.
Like,
Don't
Sandor's,
let him see that you're afraid.
Sandor's still close to me, right? I'm just gonna start pushing Sandor towards Ransom. Like, you go.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Anything, you're really good at it.
He just drops into a chair, grabs a mug of water, and starts drinking, does not say a word.
Sandor will prepare some tea and set it on the table in front of Ransom, and then go back behind the bar. It is
Thank
absolutely whatever his usual tea is.
He's kind of frozen staring at it as he realizes that. And he kind of just looks at Sandor.
He's just nursing whatever the hell is in his mug, and it's probably alcoholic, even though it's early in the morning.
Thank you.
Drink up. You, still have a lot to get out of there.
Anything I said last night is absolutely confidential, and you all will take it to your graves. If I hear it being spread, remember that I know your secrets as well and will spread them to spare my reputation. And then he just downs the entire cup of tea.
This might not be the best time to tell you, Ransom, that Shimmer is gone.
Fuck! Son of a bitch.
Sandor doesn't appear to react one way or another. He just drinks and has his breakfast.
Ransom just drinks all the water that he was given, all the tea, and then starts picking it as food, kind of half-heartedly, but knowing that he should.
Right about that time, Maritza comes downstairs. I'm sorry I left last night. It felt like I was intruding on a thing, and I had to be honest, I was just really overwhelmed.
Are you okay? I'm so sorry.
Probably for the best you backed out. You're having a better morning than these three.
I
Well-
want to die.
I heard.
Except for Ipsis. I don't know how the hell she did that, but it's impressive.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have a lot to unpack, huh?
I think you unpacked quite a bit last night. I think mostly we have a lot to catch up on. Marius and I decided to wait for you guys to get back here. Figured we could go look for the star together. But then Marius really well, he wasn't who I thought he was.
Marius was Shimmer, wasn't he?
She looks at Soren.
Oh, gods.
Marius was Soren. That's so weird.
Not
Soren's
surprising though at this point.
Soren's like, do you really think that we don't have backup plans to the whole like chosen ones
That's fair.
shtick? You know, if one of you offs yourself, we have to find somebody else to fill in the spot.
Huh. It was a good look for you. Sorry for staring at your ass the whole way.
No, you aren't.
I mean, I was particularly a fan of that form.
Makes two of us.
It's nice to be appreciated.
This is cute too. Just not really my thing.
Yeah, I'm flexible.
I bet.
The flexibility.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I will bud myself back out of here. Maritza's like, yeah. So Soren told me that, well, it was pretty obvious when Marius kept disappearing, and nobody was here. I had to try and figure out what to do. So Soren finally told me. And I'd still like to do whatever I can to help, even if it's just another pair of hands. And I meant what I said last night. So honestly, I do appreciate how genuine you are.
I remember that bit though, that you didn't want to be involved with something so complicated. That's okay. I understand.
I mean, life is complicated, and just because you don't see yourself getting involved with something complicated doesn't mean it's not an option. I just would like to
Take some time away to think about things. I
No.
understand.
Will you stop?
She never will. Have fun.
Her just kind of reaches over and gives Lons a really hearty clap on the back.
Why?
Damage.
Maybe?
Roll a strength check to see if Lons even like notices.
Alright.
You notice.
Lon spills all of the brownie bites all over the table.
I missed the brownie bites.
Would you shut up and listen to her for 5 minutes? Go ahead, Maritza.
Sorry.
Everything right now is really complicated. Seeing the whole like my hometown falling into the ocean thing, and the whole being in not my home plane thing, and the whole evil sister thing. So it's not just you that's complicated right now. Kind of everything's complicated, and I just want to make sure that we don't like dive headfirst into something when everything is so complicated. But I would like to get to know you And maybe once we've figured out the whole end of the world thing, maybe something else.
You want to stick around? Why?
And I think she looks at Ransom and Sandor at this point, and she's like, "I thought I just explained that."
She's. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this webcam.
I think at this point, Sandor just like reaches over, grabs Lon's Delight by the head, and makes her nod. The idea is to say, yeah, that is what you'd like, if that is what you would actually like.
You're gonna have to beat it into her.
I'd very much like it.
Just beat it into her head.
And Maritza kind of looks like she's made some kind of decision. There's like a body language shift, kind of like more firmly planted on the ground. And the best description is marches over to where Lon's Delight is sitting and kisses her on the cheek.
That might work.
Is that a clear enough answer for you?
Yes.
Can you talk like a normal tiefling or no?
Yes.
Congratulations, Maritza. She's so charmed by you, you broke her. Have fun. And then he just flops face down on the table. He's done. He's not unconscious. He's just done.
You have got your work cut out for you. But I think she's probably worth it.
I think I'm not the only one that's got work cut out for me. She looks at the two of you.
Ransom's head is on the table. He doesn't see shit.
Sandor just glances at Ransom. I like a challenge every now and then.
The head raises just the tiniest inch.
All you see is that shit-eating grin and a lot of side eye.
Oh gods, what did I say last night?
Nothing. You were babbling in Infernal.
Okay. He just lays back down.
Please do note, he did not lie.
He didn't. That's why I didn't have Ransom insight check. My boy is doomed.
Are you guys able to eat breakfast? The big thing is when I hear cat noises, I don't know which cat is like whose cat it is.
It's usually one of
so
mine.
many options.
I think mine are the ones that like to talk the most.
Yeah, Hildy doesn't talk that much actually.
And you guys are able to eat breakfast. It's a pretty hearty spread. Lon's Delight, it probably helps with your headache. Ipsis, important question. How do you interact with the bird this morning?
I think in the midst of me I've been like very solitary this whole morning, just like being quiet and eating because everyone else is in pain and I don't want to capitalize on that because I feel good. So she's just keeping to herself, and I feel like at one point she'd probably like break off a little piece of like a sweet cake and like try to feed it to the bird, and then just kind of like look at the bird, and it's probably very dissatisfied with me, I'm guessing. So I would just be like, "What? Do you not want breakfast? Did I do something? Did I offend you last night?
You gave him a new name.
Oh, what did I name the bird?
Geppetto?
Geppetto. I'll like look at the bird. Geppetto?
Ipsis, you are still convinced that this bird is okay with it. However, it poops on your shoulder.
Well, we'll keep it for now. That's fine. It's fine.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, but it's better than it was before, so that's your name for the time being.
I rolled for it. This is how the bird decided to react.
The bird's like, fuck that.
Perfect. And she'll just go back to like eating and then occasionally like trying to feed the bird.
And as you are munching away this morning, you hear a rumble in the distance. It sounds like it's really far away. But it's also sounds
It's getting
very
louder.
unnatural.
Of course, we
How
couldn't
much?
have one normal morning.
Never again.
So you hear that too? Thought it
Yep.
was just me.
What is it?
Doesn't
Sounds
sound right.
spooky.
Whatever it is. Yeah. I don't like it.
And
Can
it
I
gets
I was gonna
louder.
say, can I go to like a window and see it, just like kind of casually look out? Do I see anything?
Yeah. And you don't have to roll for this or anything.
Oh no.
It looks like the sky is falling.
Oh, that's fine.
Where there should be blue sky, you actually see cracks and blackness beyond them. And they're not closing.
I think we need to all suck it up and go put an end to this game, he says as he shoves a roll in his mouth hole and starts standing up.
Yeah, this doesn't look good at all.
All right, well, pack a lunch and let's get this shit going.
Okay.
And the ground beneath you starts to shake again.
Son of a bitch.
Cool.
And you hear a loud crashing sound. And if you're still looking out the window, Ipsos, you can actually see part of the forest beyond begin to fall away. As it looks like it's falling into some kind of hole.
I'm going to yell for everyone brace on something. I think we're going into some other form of shift.
Actually, I think we need to run.
That's an option too. Okay.
Sounds
Where do we
good.
run to?
Let's do it.
Okay,
Packs
let's
up
run.
some food.
Yep, I guess we book it.
Cool. Do
Okay.
we run out the back door? Are we running out the back door, I assume?
Oh.
Yeah, so you can run out the back door or the front door, the closest door, whatever door is closest.
Branson's
Um,
gonna make sure Maritza's with the group.
Maritza is coming with you.
Okay.
Important question. Did you all go grab your stuff?
Ransom would have come down with it. He doesn't like leaving at places.
Yeah, I probably would have brought my stuff down as well. Just out of habit.
I mean, I said
Doesn't
Lons
have-
was wearing.
Yeah. Sandor doesn't have much, so it's pretty much always with him.
And you said Lons had all
Yeah,
of
Lons
her.
was wearing her armor. Her sword's probably still on the floor where she left it last night, unless Shimmer took it.
No,
so-
it's right on the floor still.
She'll just pick up her sword and shield and be like, wow, I really was drunk.
Sandor lives out of a single rucksack, and it's pretty much always with him.
Oh yeah, I said I dropped my pack on the floor down here last night. Perfect.
Yeah, you said you dropped everything pretty much.
We're running out of this place like a bunch of kids late for school.
Yep. Yep.
Throwing on backpacks and struggling a little bit.
Goodbye, Soren. Thank you for dinner.
And you are able to kind of run in the opposite direction from the cracks in the floor. And as you run, you are basically running through the woods. So I need everyone to roll a dex, roll athletics or acrobatics, depending on your personal skill set, for navigating through the forest.
I am not rolling well today.
I'm gonna blow my last advantage. I'm glad I did that.
Lancelot, you trip and fall.
Sandor will double back to go get her back on her feet.
That was unexpected.
Ow!
You trip and fall, and you actually roll down a hillside, and kind of like are cracking against some of the trees as the ground is shaking.
Oh, this is the worst hangover ever!
Still gonna double back and help her, even if he's gotta like slide down the hill to go get her. Come on your feet. Go.
And Maritza kind of slides down the hill after you two and tries to help you get up and get your stuff back together, but you do take 10 points of damage from falling down basically a cliffside.
Like, even though that is most of her health, you can tell it's still mostly pride that's hurt. And it's sort of like dusting off and be like, oh no, Sandor, you shouldn't have doubled back. I'm sorry.
Catch up. Come on.
All right, yes.
And you hit a field and kind of slide to a stop. And you see in the middle of it, the golden tiefling woman kind of collapsed on the ground.
Yo.
And you see, like, quite literally, her sparkle has somewhat dulled. Like, she looks exhausted. She's still awake and alive, but she's kind of panting, and it seems like she's struggling to breathe. And you see Tristan there panicking. And she kind of slaps him away and just yells at him in Infernal. Just let me go. And he says no. And you can actually see as he clearly begins to heal her. And she tries to fight him off, but she's too weak and she can't.
Remember how you said it would be easier to punch Tristan? I think he's the one that we need to punch.
Sounds like a plan.
And that, I think, is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
This has been so intense and amazing.
It's been so good!
It'll be fine.
Oh wow.
What is life? What is existence? I don't know.
I am so fulfilled right now.
I got the best anxious nerves. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Well played, my friends.
Oh my goodness.
Well played indeed.
Holy shit.
Amazing!
Ah!
Holy crap. Oh my gods.
So, everyone, we will be in the Discord to talk about the things that have happened here today. What an emotional episode. I'm so fulfilled. Content, perhaps. Please check out all of the links that are coming up in chat. We're gonna go on a raid. I think there was a raid cry. Was there a raid cry earlier? Did I see a raid cry? I'm not sure if I saw a raid cry or not. I know Tater's in chat though, so if there's one, I'm sure Tater's got it. Let's. I should probably look at places to
While
go when we
you-
raid.
While you pick a raid cry, Scrat,
Yeah.
and while you look at a place to go, I'm going to kind of pan us out a little bit for a couple closing moments.
Uh-oh.
The first is Johan
Oh, this
fishing in a cabin on a lakeside. Seems he took Ransom's advice. It seems like Shimmer was occupied. And the second, which no one asked about, by the way, and the second is Shimmer, who seems to be stepping through a portal to a plane that looks dark
Oh no.
and scary.
No.
She didn't take the advice.
Oh, Shimmer, no.
But she seems lighter somehow as she does so with renewed purpose.
Sylvan is okay.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I found our raid cry. It's, I mean, look at them. It's like you took garbage and set it on fire, and that's what resulted.
For real though.
Yeah.
I know. That sounds so mean out of context.
I love
it.
it.
Does, but
I love it.
I feel like a bad person. Oh.
So.
oh, I do like Shimmer no though. Which one do we think? Decision players. I look to you.
I gotta vote the first one.
The first one.
I gotta go with the first one.
The first one. Good attempt, Revan. Good attempt, but we're going to go with the first one. Okay, so everyone, do check out the credits as they roll. We will be doing a raid. Make sure to join us at the raid. Copy the raid cry, which is the garbage one. Copy our garbage raid cry, and let's go and set their chat on fire. And we'll see you all in the Discord, where I've already started making memes for more Windy Downy. Thank you very much, everyone. And we'll be back tomorrow now at 2 p.m. for... Oh, it's Tuesday, so I guess I'll be playing some Oblivion, I think. Teehee, because there's an empty spot, which means I get to play some Oblivion. Teehee. And then we'll be back at the same time next week for some more Tilt. So until then, keep on evoking emotions, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!